Hey, this is Ronald from Maskers University, and it's February 23rd, 2026. And 3 days ago, my wife washed some clothes and they didn't rinse all the way out again. And this is what happened a year ago when I did a board level reset and it worked. The wife did a low. When it stopped, the clothes were still wet. She took it to drain spin only, and then it started shaking violently. So at this point, I would unplug this thing. And I will keep it unplugged for an hour. Just try to let that board reset. Normally that should work in 5 to 15 minutes. So if you have a lot of lightning going on in your area, which we all do nowadays, you might want to think about unplugging your appliances downstairs. Surges and brownouts and things like that, because that could fry your circuit boards or your control boards on your washers and your dryers, because they're all computerized now and they're cheap. And if you listen, you can hear the water still in the tub, so it's definitely not out. And what you want to do is find your model number. Mine's right there. And let me tell you about model number. So I'm an ex-engineer. If one component changes, by law, we had to change the whole model number. It could be the sludge, which sometimes comes faulty. So it's imperative that you know it. So it's going to be there or somewhere behind your lid. You're going to see your model number or in the back. I'm going to tell you a big problem you have. A lot of people have a problem with draining. And with the drain pump, it's not the drain pump. 9 times out of 10, especially for the first 2 years, 3 years, the majority of your resolutions are going to be a reset code. But this, you can't overload it. And what happens is this. Over there, they fall back there. Socks, underwear, small items. So they go right down to the drain pump. That's a big problem. You cannot overwork these things or overload them. There's 2 things I want to look at when I came down. Number 1 is the suspension rods. There are 4 suspension rods here, and those are going to go. Push down on your unit, and if it doesn't come up and just stop, then your suspension rods are gone. And watch the movement here. You can hear the water, but see that movement? That's the first thing I want to check. Another thing you want to check is you take your tub, if it's your bearings, and you just spin your tub around. And spin it and see if there's a smooth spin. At least I know now my bearings are still good. Plug it back up. And if I open this up, there's water in there. She took the clothes out, took them to the laundromat. If I have this set over here at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, that's standby mode. I'm going to hold this down for 3 seconds to cancel anything out that's in here. You see it's starting to fill. It's starting to drain. So what I just did was just held that down for 3 seconds. So I want to cancel whatever was going on. I want it out. And I need that water to drain because I can't do anything in here with that water in there. That's just gross. This thing has to be cleaned before we wash anything in here. But that's how we just cancel or drain that. Now if you notice now, everything's canceled out and it's back to normal. But you notice when I do that, I have it on what we call standby. I don't have it on any operational functions. Let's go ahead and try to replicate what she did. So I'm going to take it straight to spin only. And I'm going to press start. And I want to see what happens, okay? We got lid lock, sensor fill. We're just doing final spin. And I'm getting no shaking. So it seems to be working fine on spin mode now. And these are these machines. So what I did though was unplugged it. And I canceled everything out. So the wash machine did a board reset. And now it seems to be spinning out correctly. In the meantime, I want her to go ahead and do a load. Final spin here. The lid is still locked. It's functioning correctly. I still think that one of the suspension rods over here is going bad. Maybe it's not quite bad yet. But this load seems to be washing just fine. This seems to have solved the problem. We reset it, it's fixed. You want to find the parts you need for your Amana washing machine or pretty much any appliance you have, go to appliancepartspros.com, and there's other sites out there too. Just check them out. And all you really want to do is just pop in your whatever the product is you're looking for right here. And I'll link this below, of course. And this works with any appliance you have. And what's cool about that is it's going to bring up that particular Amana part number and show me the PDF for all the components. And then if I scroll down, here are the parts that you have to replace a lot, and here are those suspension rods. But it gives you a good idea of the parts that pass, that die a lot. And this is crazy, $97, right? But use this as a reference, then jump over to Amazon and put in that part number. If you hit spacebar, it'll tell you what people are buying. And these are the parts that are probably going to die at some point on your Amana washing machine. But here's a suspension rod. You want the kit, not just the rods. And that's what it looks like. And then confirm that it's your actual part number. That's imperative, as you can see. 32 bucks. The other one costs, what, 72? But down to the very bottom, I can actually find how-to videos on that. And more importantly, it's going to reference any related product model numbers. This is what I mean when I talk about them coming up with different product models. Yours may vary. It may be blue instead of black. But if I click on that product, for example, this one, let's go ahead and click on that. Now it's going to say OEM, Whirlpool. Then if you scroll down to the bottom, you see reviews, and then keep going down to here. Here's your cross-reference information. Here's the original manufacturer part number. But if you go over here to Amazon, we talked about compatibility. Again, Whirlpool is the king. They own Maytag and Amana. But everybody uses the same standard design. They may move a component around to avoid copyright things or trademarks. But here's Amana, Admiral, Crossley. Same thing, Kenmore. They use the same part numbers. This is that corner rod, how it looks. But they go in like that. But you can buy a lid lock here too. So if you go back to Amana, just type in that part number, space bar, here's your lid lock. Again, make sure it fits your particular product. Shift actuators, the agitator, the thing in the middle that turns back and forth. All these things pretty much die. Here's your drain pump if you need that. The suspension rod kits arrived today, but I don't need them because although I still think this rod over here is loose because this thing is moving too much laterally, side to side. Right now we did 2 loads. It worked just fine. And with this washing machine being as finicky as it is, I am not going to install these suspension rods right now because the washing machine did 2 loads and it worked just fine. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, or ideas, please leave them below. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Peace.